Hello, my name is Shamir Aslam and I will be doing the screencast for my ITGS internal assessment. My product for the IA is a relational database. This is an IT solution for a company called the Orange Tree. The Orange Tree is a small art gallery which has exhibitions where they sell their art. They needed an IT solution to use during these galleries and otherwise as well to organize their client inventory and sales information. The workforce was not and is not very digitally literate, so it was important to make sure the system does all the things they need yet is simple and easy to use. As we can see, there are three tables: the client, inventory, and sales table. The client's table's primary key is the customer ID. Then there's first name, last name, mobile number, email address, image attachment, last visit, picture. When we go into design view, we can see the customer ID, which is the primary key, is auto number, the first name, last name. Then we move on to mobile number. There is a validation rule for the mobile number to ensure that the correct amount of digits are entered when the user is entering client information. This is there to ensure accurate input of information of the user and workforce at the Orange Tree, ensuring that the client mobile number or any other information is entered correctly. Furthermore, there is also a description added with the mobile number field, which has no country code required to continually add more ease for the user when they are entering this information. Email address is the same. There is a validation rule, as we can see here. The validation rule makes sure that the email address has the correct letters or whatever information needs to be in the email address. And as we can see, there's also a sample email address in the description box in order to make sure that the users of this system maintain a consistent input of correct email addresses. Then there is the photo ID, which is an attachment. Their description offers which kinds of photos are allowed. Last visit, which is date and time, and the picture, which is an OLE object. The photo ID and picture both have different data types because in some cases the format of the image the company may be provided with may be more suitable to be entered as an attachment, whereas other times it may be more easier to enter an OLE object. Secondly, there is the inventory table. The inventory table's primary key is the item ID. Then there is item type, item name, item cost, item price, picture, and the artist name. As we can see, the item type has a drop-down menu. The drop-down menu is there to ensure ease of input of information for the users, to ensure that when the users are actually going to use this system, this allows easy and accurate input of information, because as we can see, all of the types that the company offers are available to see in the drop-down menu. This way the users will not have to think or guess about what kind of item there is, and this will help organize their inventory because there is a set list of item types which was taken straight from the Orange Tree. The client provided me with these item types. There is item name, there is item cost, item price, image, and then the artist name. Again, there is a drop-down menu. Currently, the Orange Tree is only offering art from one artist collection, the Chirag collection. As we can see, the drop-down menu only offers this one artist. The client asked that I only provide her with one artist currently because they only have one, and I have explained to her how to add more later on if need be. When we go into design view, we can see that there are again multiple data types used here. There is no description needed because both the artist name and item type are in drop-down menus, so there we do not need to provide the user with how to enter or what to enter because they will have a prerequisite list of things to enter. As we go on, there's the sales table. Now, sale ID is the primary key. Then there is item sold, client ID. Item sold is the primary key of sorry, as we go to the sale ID, we go to item sold. We can see that the item sold is the primary key of all the products that are previously entered into the inventory list. The primary key is available for the user because this enables easy information input, and also it minimizes the chance of repetitiveness of adding information into the database. Having the item IDs all available here makes it extremely easy for the user to enter any information they may need. Again, similarly with the client ID, when you're entering into the sales table the item sold in the client ID will also be the IDs which have been input into the clients table, as we see here and here, the inventory and clients table. All the IDs are available here for the user. Then there's date purchased. You see the calendar, which allows you to see the date. Payment made. There is a checkbox because rather than having yes or no, this is much faster and more efficient way of adding the information needed. When we go into design view, we can see that the item sold, client ID, date purchased, payment made, and cash paid. Again, multiple data types used. Overall, there were 6 to 7 different data types used to make sure that the kinds of information the user will need to put into the fields will be most easily put. Then we can see the relationship between the 3 tables. As you can see here, the sales table is where both the tables are related to. The inventory primary key, the item ID, is linked to the item sold, and the customer ID is linked to the client ID in the sales table, as we viewed previously in the sales table. Next is the three queries. As we move on to the queries, there's a client's query, inventory query, and sales query. The client's query, with all queries there are multiple prerequisites to enter to ensure that the user can search and find any information they may need. When you enter, there are several parameters that one can enter. There is customer ID, first name, last name, and these 3 things to find the customer you are looking for. Currently I entered none of the parameters, and as we can see, all of the customers with their names have appeared. If I was to open the inventory query, again there's enter item ID, item type, item name, and item cost, and item price, artist name. Now we see that all of the items have been shown by the query because none of the parameters were entered. Lastly, there is the sales query. Opening the sales query, there will be the same, it will open the same way the clients and inventory query did, with asking multiple parameters. For this I will enter the sale ID 1. No, I won't enter the item sold because say the user does not know which item it was. Client ID, date purchased. Now since I entered the parameter for sale ID, any sales with the sale ID of 1 have appeared. Now these queries and tables are all in the background. The user will not see them. The only thing the user will see when they start this system will be the main menu. This is the main menu and the navigation area for this whole database. As we can see, since this was the Orange Tree and Art Exhibition Company, there is an artistic theme for the background. By using Photoshop, the images were edited. The 4 images were approved by the client. She liked them very much, and these were used. As we can see, we go to the client registration. Here's the client registration form. It is linked to the clients table. There are multiple things the user is able to do here. You can go next, previous. As we can see that the first name, last name, mobile number, email address, all these things are added here. The picture for sample, this image is here, and we can see that for photo ID an attachment over here is used. When the next and previous macros, then there are macros to go back to the main menu, then we can return. Continually we can add a new client or we can delete a client. All these macros work. If I want to delete a client, it will ask me, say no. Back to the main menu. Now as you can see, when the macros run, all of them this tab does not stay open. When I click client registration, the old tab will close and the new tab will open to ensure no clustering to happen. Then we go to inventory forms. Again, we can see the art theme that has continued throughout. I've used the same color, not to complicate it for the users since they are not extremely digitally literate. There is an image of one of the products from the orange tree and their logo, which was edited again in the inventory. As we can see, the item type, there's the drop box available, the drop down box available for the user, which increases ease, the item cost, item price, item photo, again attachment, and then the artist name, which is again drop down menu. Next, previous, back to main menu. You can add stock, you could delete stock if you would want, and there's a print product form again, as there was with the client form as well. Then we return to the main menu. We go to the sales form. Again, the logo is available, is always there to add a professional aesthetic for this database that I wanted to portray to the client. We can see a small image over here to add some color, but nothing too complicated. The forms are simply created to ensure easy use for the users. We go to items sold. There's a drop down menu with the IDs of the products in the inventory table and client ID with the IDs of the clients in the client table, date purchased and payment made, again the tick box to ensure easy use. We can go to the next sale, previous sale. We can add new sale, or we can go back and delete a sale. Again, there is the print sale form, and we can return back to the main menu. There are 3 reports: the client report, inventory report, and sales report. These reports are all linked to the 3 queries. If we want to go to the client report, we will be asked the same parameters that were asked in the client query. If I enter customer ID 1, do not enter first name, don't enter last name, I will find the only customers with 1 in their IDs: Shamir Aslam, John Clark, both. Again, the reports include the logo, which is available in all the forms to ensure professional image, the small client image, the date, the amount, and there's obviously a print option. Then go back to the main menu. There is an inventory report. If I enter 1 for the item ID and leave the rest of the parameters blank, I will see there's only 1 item with the item ID 1. I get all the information for that, and I find out the price for the product, which is always available, the date, the logo again. We go back to the main menu, and lastly the sales report. If I enter no parameters, then I will see all the current sales that have been made. The same sales image appears that was in the sales form. There's the date, the logo again. Then we return back to the main menu. This is essentially all of the function that this database needs to require. There's a client registration form, inventory form, sales form, client report, inventory report, sales report. All the information in all the tables, queries, and reports is accessible through here, and any information can be added, deleted, or accessed through here. Any changes that will be made in the database while the user is using it will be saved when exiting, and as we can see, there are multiple macros used due to the ease of using macros to ensure that the previous tab remains shut the next time you open. For example, I open client registration form, the previous tab shuts. As I exit the database, it will immediately save any information that was made. Thank you for watching. I very much appreciate it, and I hope you appreciate the product further on in the IA. My name is Shamir Aslam again, and thank you for listening.